welcome back to Trash It. We're going to be discussing something quite serious, and when I say serious, I just want it to be thought-provoking. So, if you're just joining us, this is the crew of Trash It. We've got our own hit name, Trashians.
Yes.
Trashians, yeah. And this is Shari.
Hello.
What's with the wave? She's like, yeah.
Celia. Let's cut to the chase.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Fast one. Alright, back to you, our audience. First and foremost, we just want to say a big thank you for everyone that subscribed, watched, liked the videos, comments, and you take time out of your busy schedule to really ask it, because sometimes we get this message, when are you guys coming out? Come on guys, we're always here every Saturday, we ain't going anywhere. So the topic of today, I think what we're trying to do is just debunk the rumor or the myth around surrogacy. We've seen a lot of celebrities, Kim Kardashian, Gabrielle Union, quite a few people, even laymen, that have gone the routes of surrogacy, and there's always a story behind it. So either they've got complications during their pregnancy, or they can't carry, or it's just a choice for some people. And I know you frown at that. Some people don't want to carry. They don't want to be, they just want their children. But how the children come about, it's a gift, and it seems like a perfect choice for them. So I'm going to turn to you, because obviously of late there's been so many women of color, black women, or women generally, that surrogacy seems to be a easier route. And when I say easier, especially I've had complications trying to get pregnant, so it's one of the choices that was made available to me. So what's your take, or how do we let people have an understanding that just because you've not carried your child, that child ain't yours?
Okay, so for me, first of all, as you mentioned earlier, I know some people say surrogacy can also be a choice. I think that in it being a choice, let it be, as you said, you had medical complications when you were trying to get pregnant, and that was one of the choices made available to you. Let it be because of that reason. I find it difficult to understand why anybody who doesn't have any medical complications, or who doesn't have any other sort of complication, maybe the partners or whatever, one person can produce a sperm or an egg, why they would then decide that, you know what, actually I'm too busy, I'm a career woman, I can't bother to carry a child for 9 months, I don't want to ruin my figure, so for that reason I'm going to go to surrogacy. Because there are people out there with real medical issues that the woman would love to carry her own child and feel that bond with her own child in her stomach, but unfortunately for her she can't do that because she because of the medical issues. And then you have people that just say, oh, I can't bother. So for me, that's where my issue is. And another thing is, obviously as Africans, there's a lot of there's a lot of negativity around surrogacy, and that is wrong. I know a lot of people, a few of my friends, that would like to have children, but it's almost like surrogacy cannot be considered because it's a taboo. It is not a taboo. It is not a taboo. If you can't carry your child for one reason or the other, or if you're, for whatever reason, medical, I will continue to put that, emphasize that. If for any reason medically you can't carry your child, that's another way for someone to become a mother, apart from obviously adoption. But that's another way for someone to become a mother, where the part of the child will be either from your husband or from you, or so.
Going back to you, Shari, in the States, it seems like it's a popular choice.
In the States, it's popular because a close family friend went to the States because the same. She tried everything, nothing worked. Over here, she wanted to do it, obviously, and they were like, no, because once you basically, do this transaction with money, it's illegal.
Yeah, it is here.
So you could get a friend or whoever to do it for you, but
without paying them.
Yeah, without paying.
Yeah.
Which is very, very.
Your choices.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and not only that, there's a lot of law that don't protect you as well in this country, because if that woman have that child and decide at the end she doesn't want to give you that child, there's nothing signed between you legally. Does that make sense?
So you have no legs.
Exactly. So that person could always take back the child and say, well, I don't want to give it. No, in America, it's different. Everything is around that woman, because that's the person that's carrying that child. So they have to be mentally fit. Have they done it before? Everything is minute. So my friend went to California because she found that this woman had done it 2 times prior, and she know that obviously this woman won't hold the child, because as I say, you're paying big money. When I mean money, you're paying thousands.
And does
thousands
the woman that carries the child in America, do they have to sign a legal document to say that they relinquish every right over that child?
Well, I mean every right she has. Basically, it's just her body. That is it's rented.
It's like making an egg.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, with her, it was quite different, because the thing is, her eggs is not good.
Oh, okay.
So she asked the woman, since you've done it and you have 4 kids, and you know they do the vetting, see that her kids are all okay, everything. She then asked, can she sell an egg as well? Because I say her body can't take it, her egg is not
so
good.
it's a donor egg as well.
Yes. So basically, that's what I'm saying. It's very difficult, because this is that woman's biological child. It's not just the egg of another person and the sperm. It's whatever. But as I say, the child is beautiful. Everything went successful.
So did they use your friend's husband's sperm for that?
Yes. So legally, the child is his, but legally not her in the sense of biological.
But she signed off
She signed off that right. That after that child is taken out of the hospital, that is it. So basically, when that child comes, that lady does not have any bond with that child. That child is taken straight into her arms. She get the rest of the money, because what they do, they pay for everything. They pay for the medical, they pay for her food, everything, because you want that child to be like it's yours when it's in you, isn't it? So everything is done, as they say, precise. The complication now is when you get back into this country.
Oh, okay.
Because now you're bringing back a child that's an American citizen, not a British citizen.
Oh.
So when you come back now, you have to get a lawyer. You have to go through this long system of sort of like adopting that child, even though that child father is yours. Does that make sense? Because you are not biologically that child's.
To be honest,
after all that process,
the child is yours.
Child is beautiful. He is yours.
The whole thing
no
about
complication.
surrogates, like I've always said it, and I've said it on this show, I had my own issues with fertility, and we went down the route of IVF. But one of the things that was made available was finding a surrogate, and not once did it cross my mind to do it. And one of the reasons why I probably didn't do it was because around the stereotype of what's wrong with you? Like you're broken, you can't carry your own child. I wasn't broken, it was just not happening. And there was a particular book that I kind of got my hands on, and I don't know the author personally, but if you have the time and you've got space, have the time to read, it's called God's Waiting Room. And it's a 3 parts, I think I shared it with you, 3-part series. And he talks about it, because there's been some people that have come through, religiously, it's not right to do it. We're all God's children. So, and there's so many ways that you can be a parent. None is frowned upon.
Absolutely.
It's either IVF, surrogacy, adoption.
Exactly.
So, and the beauty about this is that, especially with Nigerians, I've seen a lot of people that are going through adopting other children and going through the surrogacy phase, and there's still some people that have some reservation, like I had in the beginning, of what people would say, oh, are you broken? Why can't you carry on your own child? So my question is, how do you then educate, I don't want to use the word ignorant people, because obviously if you've not been in that situation, it's easy for you to say, well, you're ignorant about how my life is.
It's a mindset thing, isn't it? It's a mindset, because as you say rightfully, it's a cultural thing. Because as you say, in Caribbean, African nation, I don't know, I think it's just because we're brought up a certain way. As you say, you're married, the normal thing is to have kids, and that's it. And if you don't have a child, it's like, what is going on? And then as you say, if you even bring up
surrogacy,
IVF, you're like, what's wrong with you? What happened? What were you doing? How many? There's lots of questions. There's lots of question around exactly as you say. So I think it's just that people nowadays need to be a little bit more open-minded, as you say. A lot of people. What's the point of going to have a child and you die giving birth to that child? So as you say, if there's medical reason behind it, then I think people need to just say, you know what? Okay. in the past it used to be a money thing, because as you say rightfully, it used to be, oh, I don't want to carry it because I don't want to stretch my boobs, or I don't want to stretch my tummy, or I don't want to push out, because you know you have people like that where they go, oh, I don't want to push out, I want a C-section. You know, you have people that are still a bit narrow-minded, as you say. But then when it comes, as you say, that you really want the child, you can't have the child, and it's putting your life in danger, then yeah, why not? And if you have the money, it's an investment, but as you say, it's a beautiful investment because it's still your child. It's still your child.
You make a valid point. It's a beautiful investment.
It's a beautiful investment. Why would you invest in a house, a car, but as you say, and the one thing you want, which is God give, as you say, why can't you have that with the help of someone?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
See,
because I don't know if you saw that one in the news. This was like, I think about 5 years ago, when everyone was having this big thing about the mom carrying the baby for her daughter, because the same, her daughter tried IVF, she tried all sorts of stuff, couldn't, and basically, but what I'm saying, that's surrogacy.
No, that's not sounding right. Why would the mom carry a child for her child?
Because
I think the reason around that, the reason around that is because obviously the laws in this country,
it's different.
It has to be someone that is willing to do it, and at that point, I think
you should find a friend, because I just feel like that's too close to home now. It's like your mom's carrying your sister, and, you know. So the thing is, another thing is, I know they're quite okay. There are 1 or 2 Nigerian celebrities that have had, or there are rumors that 1 or 2 Nigerian celebrities have had their children via surrogacy. Okay, so, and they didn't come out to say that they have. I mean, I don't know if they had, but there's rumors to say that they have. And for me, I just feel, you know, because again, in African culture, something like that is very frowned upon and is a taboo, we can't mention it, although we're gradually trying to steer away from that. So if a notable celebrity has had her child or his children or whatever, through surrogacy, why hide it? Why not use that platform to encourage other people to do that?
I know about the person you're talking about, and see, sometimes you don't want to be that one sole lonely or sole voice, especially when you're addressing 120 million
people,
ignorant people. The person in question has been through a lot trying to have these children, and like we said, it's a gift. So they just want to, you know what, I'm gonna raise my child. So not everything could be a learning process. She's enjoying her children. We as a people should evolve. Okay, not necessarily one person be like, well, it's my lifestyle. It's how I've chosen to have my child. It's as long as the child or the children are healthy, evolve. And like I said, if you've not been in that person's shoes, it's easy to say, well, like a lot of people say, well, so how are we gonna do it? Live your life.
How do you get a surrogate, or the process that you have to go through?
Okay, I would imagine in Nigeria, I use Nigeria as an example, finding a surrogate
is it even legal?
I don't think there's any law that frowns against it, because now you have
to be very careful.
You have to be careful around the person, because I know of a family around this topic, and there's the young lady that they've approached and introduced to them in church. And what they've done is they've invited this young lady to come live in their house. There are fertility centers in Nigeria that have done this, and this lady is going to live with them for the duration of the pregnancy. Now, once the child is born, all done and dusted, I'm sure they would have done their legal bits and make sure she signed off whatever right she needs to sign off. But there's a process, like the book I was telling you about, God's Waiting Room by Yetunde Zacchaeus. It's a story of well over 40 women. Lived experience, and they're Nigerians. The only thing is their names have been taken out, obviously, protecting them. But these are, I don't know what I'm saying, it might be like a drop in the ocean, but the education is getting out. And with every situation, if you're not living that situation, it might not be your cup of tea. The only thing I would know extensively about IVF and this, because I've had it done. I've seen the good side of it, having our beautiful daughter, and I've seen the bad side of it when my first cycle actually failed. And you kind of look at yourself like, wow, am I a damaged product? But if you've not had that issue, it's like you're just wasting your time trying to beat a broken drum that is not even actually broken. But we're doing the beats. Trash it, we are doing it. So this is something for people to educate themselves about. Over time, hopefully we will get there where people will have a clearer understanding and make it a lot easier on women that can't carry their children.
Because remember, I know this is like way back, but Michael Jackson was so open about his surrogacy, because all his kids were surrogated by a nurse, and then whatever. So at the end of the day, as you say, in Western society, I think it's not as you say, like hidden. Everyone sort of knows. But as you say, when it comes to African and Caribbean, we're more a bit like, ooh, it's a shame thing. That's how it's looked, and people need to stop that. It's not a shame thing. As
people can actually have their own kids with that. There are people now that are now going into their 60s, 70s, and they can't have, they have no children, whereas they could have had a child through surrogacy.
Because the thing is, I mean, how would you feel like if one of your best friends came to you and say, look, you have like 5 kids, and I want one, but I don't want to adopt. I want you to carry because my eggs are okay and everything.
And the thing is, how would you convince your parents though? Do you understand? For example, maybe you end up getting married to a man who has, because surrogacy works in different ways, isn't it? So the woman can have her eggs and use a donor sperm, or the man can have his sperm and then you use a donor egg, or you can be both. So say in an instance where maybe the woman doesn't want to carry the child, maybe not because for any medical reason, but she just doesn't want to, or maybe for medical reasons. So how do you convince your parents that you don't want to carry your child, you want to use a surrogate?
Honestly, I don't think I need to
differently.
Honestly.
Or do you just do it without them knowing?
No, hold on. I don't think I need to convince anyone how I wish to have a child. Look, and this is me being factual. When I was trying for Renee, and I had to have 7 injections every day for 21 days. And at the end of it, I was bloated. I had lumps around my legs, and I had to have a retrieval of the egg under general anesthesia, and then I had to go back and they had to put the eggs in, and we had to wait for Renee to come about. Now, if that would have been my second cycle, if that had failed, do you think I owe anybody any explanation how I have this child?
No.
As long as myself and my partner were happy. This is the gift, and we really need to debunk the rumors or the myth around surrogacy, IVF, or assisted fertility. I've been through hell and beyond.
It's not everyone's
blessed. Trust me, we were fortunate that IVF works. Imagine going through that.
I can't. You see, because I used to be ignorant to that fact as well. Because as you say, I'm blessed where I'm very fertile. You don't even think. No, what I'm saying, you don't think about it. It's only to when you go around other people talking and crying and seeing the side effects that these things cause to people. Then you think, oh my God, this is not just as you say so quick and easy, because it's money, it's emotion, it's a lot of things too, and I think we haven't touched on that. It's not just someone putting in an egg in someone, psychological. There's a lot going on in there, the feeling, the ups, the downs, as you say, that people don't show.
The thing about it is that, like we said, it's always an opportunity for us here, and even to hear from our fans out there, for us to educate you and educate ourselves as well. So if someone around you is going through the scenarios we've mentioned here, or thinking about surrogacy, I don't see why you wouldn't advocate for it. So until next week, we're out of here.
Yes, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.